Hey guys, welcome to Just by Kass. I'm Kass here. Today's topic is going to be on what is birth control. We're also going to talk about the different options. There are quite a few. There's more than I thought, like when you put them all together. And lastly, we'll be going over, I will be sharing some of my personal journey with birth control, how I feel about it. And that's gonna wrap up the video, so stay tuned to hear all about that. So first thing is, what is birth control? Let's ponder on that for a little bit. What is birth control? Do you know? Well, if you do know, that's great. We're just gonna clarify it, like the actual what is birth control. So we're going to define it. Birth control is an act of preventing pregnancy. Methods include medications, procedures, device, and behaviors. That is what birth control is. So I have a list of here. There can be other things that can act as like a birth control, because whatever is like preventing pregnancy, if you're not a mom and you like babysit kids and that's your way of like, I don't want kids, like you love other people's kids and watching them and giving them back, that is your own form of birth control if you think about it in a sense. All right, so I have 14 on this list here. If you think anything else is like a birth control for you, you can put it in the comments. I'd love to read them. So first one is birth control pill, which is like a hormonal pill to prevent pregnancy. We have the IUD, we have the birth control shot, we have male condoms, we have spermicide, and we have something else I'm not going to try to say. I'll pop it up on the screen. And then we have a cervical cap, we have a female condom, we have birth control sponge, birth control patch, vaginal ring, vasectomy, and getting your tubes tied, and we have the birth control implant. I know everyone has different opinions on birth control. It's like kind of a controversial like topic, like good or bad for you, all that stuff. We're really not going to get into that. We're just talking about the definition and the options. Anything else, like you can mention, you can write in the comments. That's fine. You know, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but I'm not going to get into whether it's like good or bad or not and all that controversial stuff. So those are the different options. So there's 14 there. Some of them go hand in hand together, and some of them is just a pill you take every day. So a medication, and other things is a device that you would insert in your body in different places or place on your body. So it all depends. And some of them is an actual surgery, like getting your tubes tied or getting a vasectomy. That's when you're like kind of really serious. And all of these birth controls have different like effective rates. Some of them are at like the higher percent, which is the 99%, and some of them more are at like the 70%. So if you're, you know, looking for different options and stuff, there's a bunch laid out here, but then you'll have to kind of figure out what option is best for you to take. So yeah. All right, so let's kind of go into like my journey with birth control. So yeah, I got on birth control when I was 13, and not for the reasons that, you know, people may think. It wasn't because, you know, being sexually active or anything like that. It was because I've always had irregular periods, even from like day one of getting my period. And so when I was 13, pretty sure it was like around August, but I'm pretty sure I was bleeding for a month and a half at that time. That was the longest time I've was on my period. It was normally used to always be like 2 weeks long during that time. And so it was for a whole month and a half. And I have lost so much blood that my iron became really low. And to like quickly solve the problem of me continuously bleeding, I was put on birth control to immediately stop me from bleeding. And then I've been on birth control on and off since then. And I am 26. So that is like 10 plus years on and off on birth control. So, you know, there's a lot of different brands of birth control I've taken. I've never wrote down like literally all the names and stuff like that, so I don't recall. But I've only been on the pill. Haven't tried any of these other options. So a lot of them, when I was doing like my research and looking at all the different options, I was like, oh, like, you know, some, but you don't realize that that's like an option. Like, you're like, okay, getting your tubes tied, that does prevent pregnancy, but you don't think that is like an option of birth control. Because when you think of birth control, you think of like the pill, you think of like the shot or the ring or like all those other fancy things. But you don't really think about that, or you don't think about like a vasectomy being like a form of birth control. But anything that is preventing pregnancy is a form of birth control. So that's something to think about. But back to my story. So I was bleeding for like a month and a half, and then I like literally fainted. I passed out on the kitchen floor of my parents' house. And I remember, so I was helping my mom cook. I was peeling the shrimps right in the sink, and I forget what my mom was doing, but she was on the stove. You know, 13-year-old me helping my mom and stuff. And then I go, "Mom, I'm dizzy." I only remember saying it once, and my mom tells me I said it twice. So I said it twice, and then I don't remember like me falling or anything. But my mom tells me I gracefully fell because I didn't hit my head. So I like slowly fell down, but it was still a fall. I remember waking up, right, like coming back into consciousness, and then like I just like looked around and I was like, why am I sleeping on the kitchen floor? Like that didn't make no sense to me. I was just like, I was thinking like I was like waking up a new day. Like, this doesn't make sense. I didn't recall that. Like, I was just helping my mom, you know, cooking and stuff, peeling the shrimps. And then I like got up and I realized that was like a few seconds ago that happened. And my mom was like panicking. She was like so nervous. She was so scared. She'd go, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I don't know what to do." And then so she sat me down by like the AC, and I was like cooling down. And she's like, doesn't know what to do. It's her, me, and my little brother in the house. And like I have 3 older siblings, but they all moved out already. So, and then my dad was working or something like that. So then she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to do. So like she called for an ambulance, but then she also called probably my older siblings. But I remember one of my sisters ended up coming because she couldn't leave my little brother by himself. Because I was 13, he was probably like 12. And then I remember I was like, first time I went in the ambulance, and this was when I first moved to parents live now, and we didn't really have any friends. It's the summertime, you don't know any of the kids, but I remember all the kids looking, and just like a crowd of people. Like my parents live on like a main road, so like people can see, like just driving by. And I was like, I've never seen this many kids just out in the street, just like staring at me. And I'm like, I get onto the gurney or the stretcher, whatever it's called. And wait, before that, the firefighters had a funny joke that till this day I remember. When he came in, you know, they do like an evaluation. They check where you at, you know, your blood pressure and all that medical stuff that I don't know about. And he goes, oh, this was just your way of you not helping your mom cook, right? And I laughed at that. I was like, yeah, I don't want to help her cook. Like I purposely fainted because of that. But it was funny and I remember that. So if you're that guy, thank you for making a 13-year-old girl kind of, you know, laugh in a time that's scary because you don't know what's going on. But then, yeah, I went to the hospital, figured it all out. They didn't diagnose me with PCOS at the time because I didn't have all the symptoms or multiple symptoms to get diagnosed with PCOS. I literally only had irregular period. That was it. So they set me on birth control and they said they were going to see if that was to like regulate my period. So I went on it for 3 months, then I got off of it, then I went on it, and then like I realized like every time I got off of it the next month it would work, right? It would seem to work. I would get my period the next month, but then the following month after that my period will go back to its normal cycle. And so we went through that a bunch of times and I was just like, didn't understand why, because I'm like, my body's gonna do what my body's gonna do, and it's clearly this medication only is working when I'm on it, and when I'm off of it my body does its own thing. So that was my journey with birth control, well, my beginning journey. I haven't really had a lot of side effects from birth control, maybe like mood swings here and there, but nothing like too serious. If I feel like I'm getting anything too serious, I'll just go in and like ask them to switch it, go on to another pill or whatever it is. But that's my journey. If you would like to share your journey with me, go ahead. You can send me a private message if you don't want everyone to read it. Or you can leave it in the comments. Hit the like button if you like this video. Thank you guys for watching. I love sharing stories with you guys, and I do definitely love hearing from you guys. So if you guys have anything that you want to share with me, go ahead and share it. Thank you. And that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, maybe hit that bell button, and you'll get notifications every time I post. Bye. See you next time.